Do an oil change, and let's say we're assigned to the Honda. So I got to get the cart that I'm assigned to too, and then get the supplies. So I'm going to grab the mobile cart. So let's say I'm part of the mobile group. Make sure I have a drain bucket, and make sure I have a funnel. Okay, and then I'm going to grab this cart, and I'm going to go over to my shelf. I know I'm going to do a Honda, so I'll find where I see the Honda. It will have a number. For Mighty, it's 4612. For CarQuest filter, it'd be the 85334. So I got a 4612, and you should check to make sure it's the same number in here, and it is. So I'm going to grab that filter. Okay, if it doesn't have a bag, then I'm going to grab that bag here too, because you're going to take the old filter and you're going to put it into a bag. This bag should be replaced, so I'm going to grab that. Okay. And now I'm going to go over to where I keep my filter wrenches. Okay, and I'm going to, we have these sets. This is a good set to grab, but we also have different types of oil filter wrenches, and you can find one that fits. So this one would fit, so I could use that. Okay, we do have these type of filters that clamp on with a ratchet. So it locks on if I need that, but I'm not going to grab it right now. I think between this set and this wrench, we're good. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. So now I got my oil filter wrench, my filter. Close these up. I do need fender covers and rags. So let's go over here. Oil changing can be very dirty, so don't just grab one rag. Grab it at 4 or 5 rags, and then you want to use fender covers. Those are over here, and at least 2 fender covers is what you need. Sometimes 3 depending on the car. As far as where we drain our oil, this oil looks like it has like bugs and dirt in it. Last group did not clean this drain bucket, so we're going to go clean that right now. So follow me over. And this is our solvent tank right here. It turns on and off with this switch in the back. So I'm going to turn it on. And then you have a hose with a brush, and you can turn on, I like using this, you just put that on. And we're going to clean this out. When you finish a oil change, it'd be courteous if you did this, clean your funnel, and clean your drain bucket, so when you put it back in the cart, the next group doesn't have a drain bucket that's completely dirty. This stuff won't hurt your hands. It's just kind of like a laundry soap. It is warm, but it does a really good job at cleaning this. Okay. So I just get most of the dirt off, and then turn this off, and I'm just going to drain this back in. Make sure you let it drain for 30 seconds or so. Get as much as you get out of this. So let it drip. Don't just leave, because what this ends up doing is this water gets mixed with the oil and turns it to like a milky color instead of like an oil color. So we want to get that. We're good. Have a little more in there. There we go. Okay, we're ready. Turn it off. All right, now we're over to the car. We got our supplies. We got everything clean. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this hood. Oh. Gotta go inside to do it. Get my hood prop right here. Every cart should have one of these. And find a secure place to put that hood prop right there. Get my fender covers, and it should work like a surgeon, right? So if you do drip the oil, it doesn't go all over the car, and it just looks professional. Okay, real mechanics use fender covers. I want to check my oil level before I ever start an oil change, because I want to see if it's low. So I'm going to go ahead and check the oil level. First one, check the condition. The second dip is the level. So let's put this in. There we go. And we're a little low. Okay. So we might have to add, we're on the first dot right here. Okay, always check both sides. Put that in. All right, so we're gonna do an oil change. So I want the oil to drain out as fast as I can. So I'm gonna pull this up and I'm gonna take the oil cap off. And what that will do is allow the pressure of our air to go through and push the oil out, okay? So I'm just gonna put this here, but don't lose it, or you could actually leave it right where you're gonna do it, okay? All right, so let's raise our car. Oh, I forgot to say clear, right? We should be saying clear. No one should be in the car. Okay, since we're not, we're using the alignment lift, don't go past the max. So that's as high as I want to go, and hit lower until it no longer beeps and there's no arrow here. Okay, so we're good. Now the neat thing about this lift is it has lights. So I could turn the lights on up there with this switch. So that's kind of a neat feature of this lift. Okay. Okay, so most students, when they do an oil change, they will work over here and the cart will be over here. I don't like that. Bring the cart over where you can work on it, okay? So, looks like we've been spilling oil, so wipe off any oil that you see spilled. Kind of help out the shop that way, okay? You have to identify the engine, so there's a line right here. This line represents the motor, and then this is the transmission right here, okay? My drain plug's right here, and the oil filter's right above it. So this is the drain plug, and the oil filter's right up top, up here, okay? Okay, so I put this on top, but I did make one mistake. I should have got my wrench or socket out first, because you can't open these drawers with the lid closed. So I'm gonna just open this up, and I'm gonna get the wrench. That fits it. It looks like a 14 millimeter. Nope. 13 millimeter. Yeah. Okay. I also might want to use a ratchet with a socket. Now there's shallow sockets and there's deep sockets. Always use a deep socket because it gives you something to grasp onto. I would not use a shallow socket because it actually is, it doesn't give you something to grab with your fingers. So now we have everything we need. Okay. I have my wrench, I have a ratchet and a socket. I would use a deep socket with a ratchet before I use a wrench. Okay. The reason why is the socket has 6 points, where a wrench either has 12 points or 3. So these tend to round the bolts off. So I like using my socket first. What everyone tends to do wrong is they go the wrong direction with the bolt. Okay, so this is what I like doing. Put this in here. You got the little switch to go back and forth. And when you go counterclockwise, it should lock. This is ratcheting. So this is locking clockwise, which would be tightening it. We want to loosen it. So now counterclockwise is loosening. Okay, so when I put this up here, we're going the right direction. And it should use 2 fingers, and that should break free. My worry is this. So you should tighten the bolt with 2 fingers, just snug. My worry is this. You have it going, let's say you have it going clockwise, but when you put it on here, and I want you on this side, Miss Tone. So I have it, if you're standing where the camera is right now, it looks like I'm turning counterclockwise. Am I right? But in reality, you're turning clockwise. By changing your perspective, you change the direction. So that's why I want you to make sure, oh, I'm going the wrong way. I need to flick the switch. Now I'm going counterclockwise to loosen. So no matter where you put this ratchet, you're going to be going the right direction. There we go. And I'm not going to stand in front with my mouth open. I'm going to stand to the side with this up here. I'm going to take this drain pan bolt off. It's going to go real fast because we took that cap off the top. And there we go. Okay, so we're draining. It's dripping a little bit. Just reposition it. You got your drain plug, okay, right here. Make sure it has a washer on it and make sure the threads are in good condition. Okay, and also make sure it's not rounded off on where the socket goes on right here. Okay, you could tell someone's been using a wrench because you can see these little round spots, and they use probably the box end or the open end part of the wrench. And here's the rule with a wrench. This is a combination wrench. Okay, so to tighten something or to break something free, you use the box end. And you would break it free with the box end. Once when you break it free, then you would use this open end for speed. So this is to tighten and to break things loose, but once when you break it loose, you use this end. This is never to tighten or to break something free. And that's what happens is people put these on here and they tend to slip and they round off the edges. This is called a combination wrench with a an open end and a box end. Okay. So as this is draining, let's talk about ratchets and sockets. Okay, a lot of students will grab this ratchet over this ratchet to do an oil change, and it's too small. And the way we describe these is this is 1/4 inch drive and this is 3/8 drive. Drive meaning is what drives the socket right here. So this is a 1/4 inch drive socket that fits onto a 1/4 inch drive ratchet. This is a 3/8 drive ratchet and it takes a 3-inch drive socket. Now, how we get those measurements is if I were to take a 1/4 inch drive wrench or a 3/8 drive, this is 3/8. I could put this on here and it's actually 3/8 of an inch drive. Okay, this one right here would take a 1/4 inch wrench, and likewise we even have bigger ratchets that go all the way up to a 1/2 inch. So don't use the 1/4 inch, use the 3/8 drive ratchet, okay, which takes the 3/8 drive sockets. The other thing is I already went over, prefer to use the deep over the shallow. The deep just gives you something to grab onto where this doesn't. Okay. My drain pan bolt now, make sure it has the washer. I'm going to put this back in since we're done draining. I'm going to hand start it. Okay. I'm going to take my 3/8 ratchet that I just talked about right here with my deep 3/8 drive socket. Put that on. Make sure I'm going clockwise, locking, not ratcheting. So I'm tightening it. And we want to use 2 fingers and you just snug. That's all you're going to do. Change our filter, so I'm going to have that ready. I'm going to have a bag ready if I need to, if it's a new filter. Okay, we're going to change that bag. Here's my filter wrenches. I'm going to probably use this one, but I'm going to show you this kit anyways. This kit has a bunch of different canisters. They are color coded, so when you put them back, put them in the right slot. Red goes with the red right here. Then we have yellow. Because if you don't put them in the right slot, you won't be able to close the lid all the way. Okay, so you just take your filter, and this is kind of small. Looks like that one right there. Okay. Now, because it's all oily, here's the trick. Get a rag, and you're going to take that rag and you're going to fold it, and you're going to cover this, and then you can install. And you can see how it grips onto that a lot better. And then you would use a ratchet that would go in the back, and you can ratchet this off or ratchet this on. Okay, so those are the canisters. If you can't get the canister off, then just take it to a sharp edge right here and just kind of pop it off, and it'll pop off. All right, so I'm going to use the slip wrench right here. The slip wrench, you got to make sure you're going the right way. So it goes on, it locks, and you got to make sure you're going counterclockwise. Too many students just put this on and then they end up going clockwise and they over tighten the filter. This is probably the wrench that makes the most mistakes. That's why I'm going to cover it. Okay, so let's go in here. My filter is up high, up here, way up here. I'm going to put my wrench on here like this. And it looks like somebody already did go, no, there we go. And you just go the right way. And it's a slip wrench because it tightens and then you bring it back, loosens, and then it tightens.
I can't see it. Put the wrench up higher.
Oh, okay. So this goes right on the filter like this, and then it just turns that filter. Let's see, I can go up a little higher this way. There we go. Actually, there's not a lot of room on this one, so maybe the canister might be easier. There you go. Canister might be the easier choice. You always got choices. Okay. When you take a filter off, make sure the drain bucket's right underneath it because it's going to drain. And there's two things I ask every student to do when you take a filter off. When you first take the filter off, when you take it down, make sure this seal comes with it because this seal sometimes sticks on the motor and you could lose all your oil when you start it up. So make sure the seal comes with it, and also take a rag and go up to the flange up here, and I want you to wipe the flange. This way, this seal, if you do these two things, that guarantees that this seal will never stick up here causing a problem. The seal has to come off of this. Okay. Just took this filter off. Here's what I asked you to do. Take a bag. If the bag is bad that what was in, take a bag. Put this filter inside the bag that you took off. Stick it back in the box. And then this is going back on the shelf over where we got it originally, over there. So we recycle these, we keep using them. Okay, now for the filter that I'm putting on, I didn't like how tight it was up there, so I'm gonna use actually the ratchet and the canister to install it, okay? And I'm gonna put a rag on there. This one actually, I think I could only have to put one fold on to hold it in place. Let's see. Yep, okay. So let's take the ratchet off. I'm going to start it by hand. Oh, always make sure the seal's on there, and you need to take a little bit of oil and make sure there's some oil on that seal. Never install a filter with a dry seal. Put this up, get it started. Got my ratchet. And you're just gonna do it just snug, not a lot. So watch my fingers. I'm just gonna go, and it's just gonna be snug, one finger. Or, okay, just, it does not need to be tight. Too many people are over tightening our filters, okay? All right, we're good. Get the lock release, let's go down. All right, stick a funnel in here. You might need 2 people to do this so you don't spill oil all over the place. It does not look like we have a lot of oil in here, and we know that it was low, so we'll probably have to get some more oil. I'm just gonna put this in here. Don't just go fast, go slow. Make sure you're not spilling it, okay? Some of these cars, if you go too fast, it will just come out of the motor. Some of them have to go in real slow. So you can see how it goes in pretty slow. Okay, so we're ready to put some more in. Okay, so wipe off anything you spilt. Okay. And it's tricky because the hoods sometimes don't go high enough for the funnel or for the oil container. So it is tricky. Just wipe off any oil you spilt, and we'll let it go at that. Okay, now we need to start our car. Oil change, you need to start it so it fills up the oil filter. So all you have to do, start it, you don't have to rev it, wait like 5 seconds, and then turn it off. And now we can check our level. Okay, so I'm gonna go in here. I have a rag right here, and I'm gonna check that level, and I anticipate it being low. I'll put that in there, take it out. Yep, it is low. It's right, just barely registering right there. So I have a little bit of oil left. And I'm gonna top it off. Spilt a little bit. There we go. And now let's check our level. I still could put a little bit more in, but you get the idea. Okay, put the cap back on. Never leave this cap off. Last year we had too many students misplace this cap, and I had to buy a couple caps. And always put the dipstick back in. Okay, and then as far as the drain bucket, go back and clean it. And as far as the tools on the cart, return them to where you got them, and return the filter where you got it. For my tools, I'm going to clean them first, make sure that there's no oil. If you dribbled any oil on your cart, whether on here or inside here, make sure it's wiped up. Oil filter goes back where I got it on the Honda, right here. 4612, 4612. Oil filter wrenches go inside here. And we are done.